I'm about ready to make a little bit of elderberry syrup since it's been quite in demand, and I can't really do it in person like I did a couple weeks ago for everybody. So I did have a few requests from people asking for me to do a little bit of hands-on as I make something so that people can see how to do it. So here's my kitchen, and it's kind of in a, well, it's clean, but I'm not used to making these live videos, so just kind of bear with me. Anyway, I've got my pot here, and I've got some dried elderberry from Frontier Co-op. I love Frontier, by the way, they're fantastic. The elderberry is very hard to find right now. I do have a couple pounds, well, actually several pounds of it. So if you do need dried elderberry, contact me, and I'll see what I can give you. And I have some measuring cups because our ratio right now is going to be 1 cup of elderberry, dried elderberry, to 3 cups of water. And we'll put it in the pot and we'll start to boil, and I'll try to walk you through this as best I can. Stay tuned. I'm adding the last of the water to the elderberry mixture. So again, that's 1 cup of dried elderberry for 3 cups of water. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn the stove on to get it heating and let it come to a boil. Isn't that beautiful? And it becomes such a nice, beautiful red color too. And it starts smelling like Christmas, kind of a chocolatey, I like to think of it as a kind of chocolate covered berry smell. It does smell nice. And you know, usually you can make this recipe however you want. I'm just making it plain because I think that for children, especially right now, they love this. They love the elderberry syrup. If you add ginger, cinnamon, that makes it taste really nice too, but it might be a little too spicy for kids. So this is as user-friendly as you can make it. Just simple stuff. Elderberry and water, and then after that cooks down, we'll let it cool, and then we'll add some honey to it. So what I do is let this come to a boil, and then I simmer it for about 35 to 45 minutes until I get the desired consistency that I'm looking for. I like mine very concentrated, so because I like to add them to my water drink in the morning when I take my vitamin supplements and my herbal supplements. And but again, all of these herbal remedies are tailored to what works for you. And if you make it what works for you, you're gonna take it. So, and that, it doesn't work if you don't take it. I keep trying to drive that home to everybody. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let that come to a boil, and I'll be right back. Everybody, I'm back. I wanted to show you how pretty that red color is. Here are the elderberries. Come into a boil, and I'm going to turn it down to let it simmer with the top off for about 35 to 45 minutes. This is a bit larger of a batch than I'm used to making, but I've had a lot of requests for elderberry syrup, so I wanted to make sure I had enough prepared for the next couple of days. You'll want to, did I say simmer it with the top off? And I also wanted to let you know that I did the math a couple months ago on making elderberry syrup at home, and it turns out to be very, very economical. So you could make about 24 ounces of elderberry syrup, and it costs you about $7. And if you do the math, if you add it up on what the retail value on that would be, what you would pay in the store, you're saving well over, I think it was $125 that I figured out for that amount of fluid ounces. So again, you know what you can tailor this recipe to how you like it, and you know what's going in it, and you can make it on the fly whenever you need it. You don't ever feel like you're going to run out unless you run out of berries. But a little bit of elderberry, dried elderberry, goes a long, long way. So again, this was 3 cups, what I'm making right now. This is 3 cups of dried elderberry. So this is going to make a whole lot of elderberry syrup. All right, just wait and see. I'll be back. I'm gonna go take my dog for a walk, and I'll be back. Hi everybody, I'm back. And isn't this beautiful? It's nice and cooked down. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that cool for a bit. And then I'll show you how to strain it and bottle it up. So I'll let that cool off before we touch it. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how to strain. I'm gonna use this funnel just because it's easier and it's metal, and because we're dealing with warm to hot liquid. A mason jar is better because that's already pre-tested to withstand high temperatures. Okay, so I'm just gonna make a small batch to show you how to do it, and I'll make the rest of the batch later. All right, so I'm gonna pour the elderberry liquid into the funnel and let it catch the elderberries. And then, see, it does make a mess. All right, I'm gonna put this back on the stove because there's a lot more to work with there. Okay, so let that strain. And normally what I would do, and it's still a little bit too hot to work with, but normally what I would do is squeeze those elderberries to get all the rest of that juice out. There's still quite a bit of juice left in there. Okay, but for our purposes here, I'll just go ahead and let them stay in that water, marinate a little bit longer, or actually extract a little bit longer, but cook down, whatever you want to call it. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and add the honey, and you wanna add the honey while this is still warm, so it all dissolves nicely together. And typically, you wanna use raw unfiltered honey, and the ratio, if you have 1 cup of dried elderberry, you're gonna probably wanna use about 1 cup of honey. It'll give it a nicer thick consistency, so you can actually use it as, not quite as thick to maybe put on a teaspoon and have it stay, but it won't be watered down. It won't be watery, and it'll give it a nice sweet flavor. It's actually very good. So I'll be right back with the honey. Okay, we're back. All right, so I've got about a cup of honey there, and I'm gonna add it to this mixture.
She microwaved it a little bit first.
Just to get it out of this cup a little more easily. Otherwise it'd be all sticky. And this honey was a little hard to come by. I think I got the last of the 2 bottles at Wegmans. So this is precious stuff here. All right, so what I do is let that all dissolve together. And again, you can add as much honey as you want or as little. Don't add any if you don't want the honey in there. This is all according to taste. And again, the idea is to make it so that you like it, so that you use it. Because if you don't use it, it doesn't work. No matter how nice it looks or how much effort you put into it, you've got to actually take it to have it useful for your body. So I will let that cool off because I don't want to add it to one of my standard bottles because it'll break, probably the glass because it's still a little bit too hot. But when that cools, I'll just bottle it up into, see if I have something on hand real quick. Something like this. This is where I keep my fire cider, in a little jar or jug like that. It's nice because you'll want to shake it before you use it. And with this elderberry syrup, you're going to want to keep that in the refrigerator because it only is elderberry, water, and honey. Although the honey's a bit of a preservative, I don't think the honey's going to keep it good for an extended period of time. It should last 2 to 3 months in your refrigerator, and that's what I do with mine. In fact, I'll show you mine. I keep mine in a little jar like this. So isn't that nice? You see how pretty that color is too, right? Yeah. Syrup. And just one more thing, if I can do it in my kitchen, you can do it in yours. See you next time. My cinematographer, she did such a good job when I couldn't.
Stop.